You'll pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Helen, do you have any minutes? Yeah. Yeah, minutes, commissioners. Minutes, July 22nd, 2025. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve minutes from, was it July 22nd, 2025.
Have a second?
Second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any reports, Helen?
I have none.
You have none. Any correspondence?
We did get something from CAB. For the housing, program.
Is that the one, the historical buildings one, Helen, or?
No, they're out of Billings. There was
Oh.
like two different,
Okay, the ones that are
people we
doing
could have
our,
chosen, yeah.
I don't even remember what that's called. It's something to do with the legislative money that they set aside for down payments on houses. You did hear from them? What did they say?
And they sent us a letter.
They sent us a letter?
Yeah.
They called you to tell you they sent us a letter?
No, I got the letter in the mail.
Oh, Letter in the okay, it mail, was a tell us letter. that Okay, you gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
correspondence, but
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't read the letter.
Okay, well, it's good to hear from them, who have
I
heard
just
from them.
noted that we received it. But other than that, I couldn't tell you. I think maybe they're ready to go.
And we did have somebody call about the South Campus buildings out there, historical.
Yes.
company.
Historic building preservation.
Preservation.
maybe.
Some folks interested in maybe the South Campus buildings out there, they get involved if it becomes where we have to. Tear them down, they try to get them to where they can be used before you tear them down, something I haven't had. a chance-
Montana Monuments Foundation.
Montana Monuments, okay. I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet, but I will call them back this week and see what they want. Maybe we can give them a building or two.
Okay. Okay, Helen, calendar review, please.
Like, that's for today. Tomorrow, 7:30, solid waste safety meeting. And that is all I have tomorrow. Thursday, survey review at 1:30. Commissioner Kirsch is Friday. And I do not show anything on Monday.
Commissioners, anything else?
Next Thursday, I have a Elkhorn Working Group meeting from 4 to 6,
Next Thursday, the
Yeah.
7th,
the 7th.
4 to 6.
We've got one more clicker and recorder admin interview tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock. And our Rocky Mountain Board meeting this month was canceled, so that's usually on Thursday afternoon. I'm meeting with MDOT sometime Friday at Basin on the main street there. I'm gonna take a look at that. It sounds like they may move forward with the project there, but fixing the ski slope on Main Street, getting that flattened out. So we'll see. If I come up with a good time, Dee Dee, I'll let you know if you guys want to be there.
Please.
It's kind of a preliminary meeting, kind of figure out, I told them if there's any communication needs to happen between the state and Basin, let me know, I can surely do that. But they wanted to come out and at least get an idea what they're looking at and how it might be fixed, and I thought we already had all that figured out, but they wanted to meet anyway, so. But I'll let you know on that.
This Friday?
This Friday, yeah, and he didn't tell me what time, I called him back and he hadn't called me back yet, so. Sounds like they'd have the engineers and everybody there all at once and take a look at the thing and see what they can do to get it rectified. I think that was all I had, Mr. Chairman, for
Thank you,
calendar.
sir. All right, welcome Keith, good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Now we're gonna go for opportunity for public comment. At this point, this is now the time of anything that is not on the agenda that allows anyone to comment on. All that we ask is that you identify yourself prior to what you have to say, please. So is there anyone that needs to open it up for anyone that has anything to say?
Guess I might as well be the first guinea pig, right? All right, for the record, my name is Richard Rose. I live in Basin. And, I had, again, thank you for letting me speak today. Can I throw in a hypothetical scenario? So say the fire board, we're a 5-member fire board. And 3 of the members walk up on each other by the post office and start talking about things that we need to do for the Basin Fire Hall or for the station. And somebody walks up and catches us. And so my understanding of the open meetings law that you can't have a majority of the board members, even if they bump into each other, discuss issues that needs to be discussed in a public open meeting, right?
That would be, that is correct. And there is Supreme Court precedent on this topic that if, there is a majority of a board that can make decisions. I mean, if you guys are, my view is if you're just discussing it in things in a general sense and nothing's to be decided, but you can't be making decisions, anything like that needs to be presented in a open meeting, public hearing.
Well, I know you have the right to be able to like email or text or whatever schedules, or like making up the agenda, making up what time you're gonna meet and stuff like that. I know you can play with that. So what would be the ramifications? What would they do to the members?
Well, the members could be charged with official misconduct and removed from office, which is a misdemeanor under Montana law. The penalty is removal from office, and I believe you can no longer serve in that position if you violate Montana open meeting laws.
Okay, so with that, I wanna, where it's not so long, I'll go ahead and get to the meat of what I'm bringing in. So a few weeks ago, the school board was gonna have a meeting, and it kind of got bad, I guess you could call it.
Contentious, yeah.
And they kicked the public out. I was not there, I was dealing with water issues, but when I did come, everybody was outside. Even one of the board members was outside talking to the public. 2 of the board members, which are only a 3 board member, so their majority is 2 members. 2 of the members were still in the school. Now this is what I've told, and so, I can't rely on this one, but they called the superintendent back into the school. Don't know what they said. You won't know what they said because the public wasn't in there. So like I said, I can't rely on that one. But a few days ago, they were having an emergency meeting, another public meeting. Well, we walked in, it was about 5:15, the meeting was at 5:30. My daughter-in-law and my granddaughter, they went on in to sit down. I heard something, so I stopped at the staircase. And I'm listening to people discuss stuff. One of them actually mentioned the school and some details on that. I made out one voice, which was Terry, which is on the school board. The other one was kind of a whispering, I couldn't make it out. And when they come downstairs, they see me. It was Terry and Shannon, both on the school board. They were upstairs discussing. I'm figuring something about the school because I heard Terry plain as day, the school or this school or something. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, to my opinion, that's a violation. And I'm wondering what could be done. I'm relying on y'all's answer.
Let me throw my 2 cents in there. We're married, but we don't always agree.
She don't anyway.
I don't know if they've been through training. I would like to see those 2 go through training. I know the other one has. I think they need to go through training to understand just how tight it is with a 3-member board. And that it's just like walking a tight line. You have to be so, so careful that you don't violate the open meeting law. In fact, I had some information come across and I only talked to one board member about the information. During that call, the other board member actually called me on an unrelated issue. And I hung up with him, went back to the original one. He said, "Did you tell him?" And I said, "Absolutely not. That is a violation of the open meeting law. That cannot be discussed, even if it passes through me. It has to be discussed in the open meeting." And I don't think they realize, with a 5-man board, it is so much easier. You got somebody you can run things through. With a 3-man, it's just, you're flying blind until you come to the meeting. And, I think they really need to get some training because it's just a matter of time before they overstep. And then I can't ask for training. They'll be done, they'll be cooked. And I'm not your problem this time. I'm trying very hard to keep them okay and above the board because my goal is to keep the school open.
And here's where me and my wife differ. She says that, my understanding, Shannon has been there for several years. I know from the water board, they've been offered 2 or 3 times. They've taken the course a couple of times. I took the course when I started doing the fire board and the water board. You can't tell me that you were not offered the position to get that training if you've been on the board for several years. So that's where I differ.
And I don't know if school boards were ever brought into that whole board training conversation. I know like the fire departments and all those were, but school boards are kind of separate from the county, so I don't know if we even, I see your point, Richard, that all the local government boards were brought into that, but I honestly don't remember the school boards being offered that with the rest of them. So just to make.
Well, y'all would know, so.
Yeah. But I'd have to look at law, I guess, to see what the process is. And I mean, to prove something is gonna be the hard thing. I mean, if they were making decisions and they came, well, we made a decision, at the meeting without any discussion, that would be proof in itself. But if they're discussing stuff and, they could have been discussing anything at that point without actually making a decision, it's really hard to prove that they're actually doing business behind closed doors.
Nobody being there, you can't tell one way or the other, so,
Right,
I mean, it can fall both directions,
yeah.
to my opinion.
No, it definitely could, and I don't know if Steve even has an idea how you would start
And
investigation
especially
or what.
as, and sorry to interrupt, but especially as bad as things have gotten with the school board and everything, so
Yeah.
you don't know.
Can y'all at least call them and caution them and tell them, I know it's really hard not to say something when, there's only just a 3-man board, but they really have to
Yeah,
be
I
careful.
can definitely talk to Shannon and Terry. I mean, I think we've got the board booklets that we gave out at those and say, here, look at these. We're getting some murmurs that you guys might be discussing behind the doors and that you can, I can definitely do that. I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
Just to protect them, and those workbooks that the MSU gives out are really good. I mean, even if they just read that, they would be much better than they would be if they didn't know anything.
I do have a couple of those.
You still have a couple of those? Okay. So, but we can look into that though. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what the process is. If you gotta notify somebody at the state or if it starts at the county level, I have no idea. I don't even think Steve knows because we don't deal with that enough to know right off the top of our heads, but.
What I do know, and Richard, I say this comes from the lawyer side. What you have said or you have advised, you overheard, is not even remotely close to being able to say there was a violation of open meeting.
Oh, I agree,
Because you're like, well, they were talking about something and I heard school, but I don't know what they said.
well, I totally agree. I can't guarantee you they were making deals because I could just barely hear them, but, it's still, here you go with the catch-22.
Yeah, if they were coming into the meeting and already made up their minds, like they had discussed it or whatever, and not letting the public weigh in on that, then you might have a little bit of weight saying, you guys are deciding stuff before we get to the meeting, clues like that would definitely point out that they're doing that type of stuff, but.
Yeah.
We do a training, the high school in Boulder, every couple of years, we have our lawyer come in and do a board training, we'll make sure that we add bases to our list of. I included them, that they could be invited to the next one, do it too.
That'd be great. Yeah, any training those guys can get.
Yeah.
The county only does their training like every other year or something.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so Dee Dee Rhodes, based in Montana, I'm seeking advice. The school, and I know I keep bringing it up, it's all related around the school. The school has updated themselves, and in doing so, they have a rental agreement that if you utilize the school, and in that rental agreement, you have to show proof that you have $1 million insurance, or you can't use the building. In discussing it, we are talking about Mason, Montana. In discussing this, I asked the superintendent, and she said that's the standard in this area is the $1 million insurance. They asked us, they being the superintendent, asked us to conduct tours of the school for Basin Day. We set a time slot, 2 hours, 2:30 to 4:30. Got somebody to do the tours, O'Neill, who's a very old man, and actually went to the school as a kid. He went through 8th grade there and got it all set up. They sent me the agreement. I'm an idiot. I read it. And then I circled the $1 million thing, filled everything out, and then told them that I didn't think that would apply because they asked us to do it. And I told them that, you know, we couldn't afford it, even as a water board, which is the other reason why I'm here. As a water board, we meet once a month there at least. And, you know, we don't have $1 million worth of insurance. And question that. So they called Monday, they being the clerk, Britton, and talked to the insurance company. And they told her for $100 a day, we could contact them and purchase insurance to be in the building. So I inquired at the last meeting, feel free to watch it. Did that also include everything that they owned, or was it just the building? In other words, did it include the schoolyard where the swings and everything are? Why? Because people are asking me. Again, people usually talk to me all the time. And they said, no, the schoolyard is usually always open, but yeah, it does include those and somebody could get hurt. So for the water board, we've canceled the tours. We're not going to do the tours. Basin Days is not going to come up with $100 just to do something they asked us to provide. Let you know that. So that lets y'all think on that. But at my next water board meeting, which is always the second Thursday of the month, I am going to bring up, do we continue to meet at the school or not? Now, they have not presented this agreement to us yet. This is the first time this school has ever done agreements like this. Because if they do, there's a good chance we're not going to pay $1,200 a month at least. Yeah, I'm sorry, a year, just to meet in the schoolhouse. And the only reason why we're meeting in the schoolhouse, and we turn to you, sir, is because it is the only ADA accessible building in Basin. I am told that we have to have our meetings in an ADA accessible building. Well, I don't want to have to pay $100 a month to have my meetings there. So I'm seeking advice. What do I do? Can I move them to the hall where I don't have to pay $100 when I walk in the door? Or is that not considered because, you know, it didn't get changed to the ADA building. It was the school that got changed to that. What do I do now? Where do I have my water board meetings? Do I have to bring everybody here and ask to use your building? What do I do now? What solution do I present to my water board the second Thursday of the month next month? What do I
We
do?
only charge $200 to use this room.
You're funny. You're really funny.
Honestly,
I'm at a
Dee
loss.
Dee, I would talk to the school board and their insurance company. That seems ridiculous that one governmental agency would pay the other governmental agency to use their space. You know, not to pay for it, but to pay for the insurance. I could see if it was an outside, like an event or something, because we do that out at the fairgrounds. If it's an event, wedding, whatever, something from the outside coming in, then they have to have their own
I mean, I
insurance. But
paid
if-
those fees. I had a wedding there, yeah.
So I would definitely dig into their insurance, and if you can't talk to the school board, get their information on their insurance, talk to the insurance company, say, hey, we're a water board, we're not a circus wanting to have an event in there. You know, do we need to pay the $100 a month insurance?
All I know is Britt and their clerk talked to the insurance
Does
company.
your water board have a general liability policy in place?
I'm pretty sure we do, and I know it covers the board, but it's not $1 million. They want $1 million.
No, that's a good
Okay,
point.
Corey, this is Terry.
Yeah.
They had a conversation with OPI on Monday, and their conversation had to do with having tours on Basin Day about insurance. I don't remember any conversation about basin water and sewer, but I'll be happy to check on that. If you just give me a little while and I'll figure it out and I'll call you and let you know, Corey. Because Paul Taylor at OPI said if you use it for a public event, you need to have an insurance binder, just like any community center or fairgrounds, just like you said. So let me check into the water sewer board, okay? Is that
Thank you,
fair?
Terry.
And then I will get back with you.
And I would say that your water board insurance, you may just have to tweak it a little bit to get to that million or something. I mean, that should be an easy.
Most, if it's a general liability insurance policy, most general liability insurance policies are written with a $1 million aggregate.
It's probably
So
a
what
lot.
I would suggest, Dee, is contact your, whomever the agent is. And make the inquiry of them simply that we hold our water board meetings at the Basin School. The school or whomever is requiring us to have a liability policy in place. Will our policy cover us? For if something happens while we are holding a water board meeting at the Basin School?
Okay? And if it won't, and if we decide not to do anything else, such as raise our level, am I gonna get in trouble if I start having it at the hall?
I would say if you're not ADA accessible, you're kind of
If
hanging
somebody
yourself out there.
complains.
If somebody complained, you would be.
So is there a building other than where we pay $200?
And honestly, the fairgrounds is probably your easiest to book. This room here, Ginger would have to help you out with. I don't know if it's open enough and it depends on what else is going on during that time.
I know.
Right between this room and the fairgrounds.
It'd be nice to get someplace set that you could
Yeah,
use.
I mean, we had it set.
Hopefully we'll get the
We
street
thought we
fixed.
had it set.
Hopefully we'll get the street fixed and you won't have that problem anymore, so you'll be able to use the hall. But definitely one of the county buildings, either this one or the fairgrounds, you should be able to use in the interim, if you need to, but I don't see that your insurance company wouldn't be able to make it work with the school's insurance company to get you back in there for, I bet, like Steve said, you're probably already paying $1 million anyway. I don't know if you've specifically looked at it,
No, I haven't.
but I don't know if it's a
Don't
liability,
decide that.
because I think most board insurances are, is it errors and omissions? Is that what it is? Usually, Ginger, the boards are required to have.
Yeah, I think so, and it's everything that I've seen, we get those certificates, it's usually $1 million.
So you might take a look at that. You might already have the
Yeah,
insurance.
it needs to be for purposes of this, it needs to be a general liability policy. Because E&O won't cover.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when they buy those, what did you say, DNO?
Yeah.
E&O, Arizona Mission.
Okay, okay, that makes more sense. I don't know if they have to get liability with those air and emissions policies or not. I've never really looked that close at one. You don't have to.
I don't know. I just,
Cause our water board in Clancy pays like $2,500 for their errors and omissions, and I haven't looked at it to see if it's got liability.
Well, we
But for
only have-
$2,500.
only have one place that will insure us, so, we're kind of tied, you know how that goes, but
Mhm.
did you have to get it with a grant?
no,
Sometimes grants will require it.
not that I'm aware of. I'd have to ask Triple Tree on all that.
I would ask them too, because sometimes the requirements through those grants, they have it, so you might already have it for that part too.
Okay. appreciate it, like I said, because it just kind of caught us all off guard. The board member that talked to me thought that since we would be grandfathered in, but when they found out about the tours, the 2 hours worth of tours, and
Yeah,
that blew up in our face,
yeah, any event that's not
any event,
public, yeah, or not public, but governmental, I guess.
yeah, it kind of. Right, that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Any other public comment? Anyone? I apologize, but I passed up commission reports. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it real quick, like if you got time, Lindsay, you mind waiting? Okay. Commissioner Kirsten, you want to give me a report, please?
All right, I shall. It should be pretty quick. Last week, Clancy Water Sewer District on Wednesday. Me and the board chair were the only ones there. One of the other board members called in just to get the meeting done. Megan usually goes to those, but she's retired now, so we would definitely miss Megan. Not much going on for the Clancy Water Sewer. They're just trying to get a couple new wells punched, new test wells. And I think they're doing that right now. DEQ bumped Clancy down the list on one of their grants. You guys probably get those same notification letters where you get bumped passed up by a different town that's ready to roll. And you're not quite yet, so they pass you up on your grant for now. You move down the list a little ways. Yeah, so not much happening there. Paying the bills. Let's see, Wednesday afternoon, we did a couple interviews for the clerk and recorder admin position. And then also, Tuesday after this meeting, we did at least 1 or 2 clerk and recorder interviews as well. Let's see, yesterday we went down to Whitehall for a joint work session with the Madison County Commissioners. We talked about, we had MSU do an update on their extension office work down there, and the extension's busy doing their thing, and 4-H is super busy right now trying to get ready for the fairs coming up. They're doing a great job, the 2 ladies down there in extension. We talked about an interlocal agreement for adult detention services. Madison County actually pays us for 4 beds here in our detention facility, pays 4 all the time, whether they have 1 or 10. We make a lot better money when they only have 1 in here, but if they have 4, then we actually losing money because we're only charging them $65 a night. So we're trying to figure that out if we need to bump our rates up, and Madison County agreed that it's probably time for a little increase there. So we're gonna look at that and probably get something in the works for next budget season to bump that up a little bit. We also talked about travel management. I'll let Commissioner Hagerty run over that one. And we also talked about the Cardwell dump site. We've got a dump site there right on the other side of the river in Jefferson County that they don't man. So a lot of the local people, even in Jefferson County, goes and use that site. So they're actually stealing from Madison County because they're not paying their fees. So we're trying to figure out a fix for that, but we're having a lot of trouble because they don't man their sites. They just open the gates up and whoever comes. They have no idea who's dumping, who's not dumping. So we're still working on a solution for that. So yeah, that's my report, Mr. Chairman. I guess travel management, I'll leave up to you on that meeting yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. I know we only have like 1 minute left, so I'm just gonna get into this time specific, which is at 2 o'clock, yes, for our public hearing. And what that's gonna be is resolution 12-2025, an increase in solid waste fee. And I would
Open the public hearing.
oh, yep, I would I'll open this as the public hearing as of right now. It's resolution to increase solid waste fees, and I'll read it to you. Whereas Jefferson County has created a solid waste district which encompasses the entire county and is administered by the Jefferson County Commission. And whereas the Jefferson County Solid Waste District was created prior to April 9th, 2013. And whereas the commission has determined the current annual solid waste disposal fee charged to each equivalent residential unit in Jefferson County is inadequate to cover the cost of providing solid waste services and to fund future replacement and acquisition of property, facilities, or equipment, which is cost in excess of $5,000 with a life expectancy to 5 years or more. And ERU, which is your equivalent residential unit, is deemed to be the amount of solid waste generated annually by a single family residence up to 3,000 pounds. Commercial users are assessed in ERU multiples, which is determined by the amount of solid waste generated by the commercial user. And whereas under Montana Code annotated 7-11-1025 in 2011, the governing body of a solid waste district is required to estimate as near as practicable the cost of the district annually by the latter of the second Monday in August or within 45 calendar days after received certified taxable values from the Department of Revenue. The assessment is to be estimated at an amount equal to the annual cost of the program and improvements. Montana Code annotated 7-11-1025 parentheses 2. And whereas the current annual solid waste fee is $149.69 per ERU, Jefferson County has not increased its solid waste fee since 2020. And whereas the amount necessary to fund the annual operational costs of the solid waste program and future capital improvements is estimated to be $193 per ERU. This is an annual increase of $43.31. And whereas in order to continue the efficient and responsible operation of the Jefferson County Solid Waste District, the commission has determined the above reference increase in solid waste fees is necessary. And whereas in accordance with Montana Code annotated 7-11-10265 parentheses 3, reference is made to the Jefferson County Tax Rule Book, which describes each lot or parcel of land assessed a solid waste fee, the name of the owner or owners of the lot or parcel, and the current amount assessed. The Jefferson County Tax Roll Book is on file in a matter of record in the office of the Jefferson County Treasurer. And whereas pursuant to Montana Code annotated 7-11-1025 parentheses 5, on July 16th and 2025, the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder caused notice to be published, which provided a copy of resolution number 12-2025, which was on file in the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder's office and available for inspection. The published notice also provided for the date, time, and place. Resolution number 12-2025 was to be considered by the commission, and at which comment and objections to the final adoption of the resolution would be heard. The notice was published in accordance with Montana Code annotated 7-1-2021. And whereas on July 29th, 2025, Commission held a public hearing regarding the solid waste fee increase, and at this time considered public and written comments and protests. And whereas following public comment and considering protests, the Commission voted to approve resolution number 12-2025, resolution to increase solid waste disposal fees. Therefore, it is resolved resolution number 12-2025, resolution to increase solid waste disposal fees is hereby approved and adopted. It is further resolved, fees for the solid waste district are increased by $43.31 per year from $149.69 to $193 per year for each ERU or multiple thereof benefited by the solid waste district. The increase will be effective for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 and all fiscal years thereafter, subject to annual review by the Jefferson County Commission as provided by law. Dated this 49th day of July. So, anyone have any questions, concerns?
We did meetings around the county, 3 different meetings, one in the north and one in Boulder and one in Whitehall. Overwhelmingly supported everybody at those meetings. Well, they weren't well attended, but there was a few people at each meeting, and once we presented everything, they were overwhelmingly supportive of it. Because if we don't raise our rates, we have to reduce services. So, and nobody wants to lose their solid waste site or.
Right. That was my next question. Are you getting rid of anything?
No, we're not. As long as people keep supporting the little increases we have to do. The 2020 increase really was to pay for the solid waste site in Montana City. There was really no increase to the operations of the system. So, we really haven't had an actual increase for operations since 90
when it started, pretty much.
94. Yeah, so it's been 30, is that 30 years? Yeah. So that's pretty darn efficient system that we've been running for a long time. So this one will allow us to kind of catch up with inflation and also hopefully invest in a truck and hopefully a garage. We'll have to see how that all plays out, but it'll make things a whole lot easier for the solid waste to do their job.
I was curious if you had any future planning, but you mentioned the garage and the truck, which you don't have now, or is this in addition to what you have at facilities?
This would be in addition.
And would that be in Montana City?
Nope, that would be here at the shop out here,
Oh, okay.
kind of where we're this is our main station here where our trucks are housed at night and stuff, so.
And have you done any evaluation on the current transfer stations? And thought about what improvements might make them work more efficiently?
I think Mike looks at those every day, I mean, every
But yeah,
site.
I'm sure, I'm just
Yeah.
kind of throwing the question.
And everything's, yeah, everything's going very well as far as I know. The Jefferson City site gets a little busy, but we have more days to open there. We were only open, what, 3 days, 4 days there now? Jeff City. We're only open 2. So we could actually open some more days without having to increase the size of the place just to take care of any overrun on, or being too busy anyway. Montana City, we didn't have a choice. We were open every day of the week and we still weren't serving the capacity, so we had to make it bigger.
I think that's still true.
Yeah.
My experience.
Yeah, we lucked out in getting that thing done and it's running really well. And the rest of them are too. I think Montana City's the only one we run 7 days a week, so. But yeah, I was overwhelmingly supportive. I think everybody's, even above and beyond the inflationary rate, we probably could have got away without a truck and a garage, but everybody's like, no, I mean, that was it, $10 more for those 2 pieces per year. Everybody's like, that's. we
It's
even
more
had
of a replacement, Paul, cause the trucks we have are basically wearing out.
Right.
And we've replaced the motors in them and now the trucks themselves are wearing out, so. We're just
Well,
trying
that's
to
what
get
I'm
ahead a little
curious
bit.
If there's a some of that fee monthly or annual or something going for replacement value on the trucks or any of the equipment.
Yes, we're planning on getting a loan for a truck. So, and then we're trying to get a loan also to see how things work out, and then you get a loan to get a building to house our trucks and to keep them out of the weather.
Okay, and then this proposed increase will take care of that. That's the idea. Okay, thank you.
'Cause our trucks are, cracked frames and.
No, you don't need that.
And we're hoping this increase will get us through until the transfer station Montana City's paid off. Once that's paid off, then we'll have those dollars to keep running with. And we can always adjust up and down every year. We can look at these rates and, because we don't want to overcharge people and make way too much money for that system. We just want to break even essentially.
The loan that was used for Montana City and that we paid off until 2035.
So in about 10 years, we'll be able to reevaluate it. Hopefully we won't need another increase. We actually just got news that the landfill in Helena, or the one that we use, got purchased by another company, so we're kind of holding on. Hopefully nothing major happens there. We might be having a different conversation where we're using this new money for.
Tri-County sold out their landfill?
Tri-County, Interrepublic.
That's the outfit that runs out of Bozeman.
And Missoula and several other places.
So hopefully they'll give us a chance to settle in before they crank our rates up.
They're the second largest solid waste company in the nation.
But after saying all that, we did have one person call in, was that today?
Mm-hmm.
One lady down south that opposed it. We didn't really get a chance to talk to her. I think if we'd have been able to talk to her, we probably could have changed her mind, but
I think she understands. She's just got 3 properties and
yeah, that
is
hits anybody,
older and.
anybody with more than one property, yeah.
I feel her pain. We
Exactly.
have the same.
Well, it's only properties that have houses on.
Feel her pain. We have the same.
And paying extra for like construction.
Right,
So.
yep. So that's all I had, Mr. Chairman, as far as the public hearing information.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Is that it? Yeah, this will close the public meeting then. And we'll go from there, okay?
I'll move to approve resolution 12/2025 increase solid waste fees. Mr. Chairman.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for your suggestions. I'll check them out.
Thank you, guys. I'll get some of those booklets and make sure the board members get those and. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Get you and then I'll get me.
I didn't have anything except what Corey mentioned.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
So one thing I forgot on my reports, Mr. Chairman, was our
Solid
meeting this
waste.
morning with the sanitarian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sanitarian was in this morning and we actually lost Megan, so our part-time sanitarian's been picking up the pieces and he's been doing a great job, Matt Strudowski. He's been, working on mostly pointing people in the right direction. We have a contract sanitarian that we hired, what was that a couple weeks anyway, just to fill in the gaps until we can hopefully find a full-time sanitarian, but those are hard to find, so we may never find that. We may be contracting from here on out, so, but we'll keep the job open for the time being. Maybe somebody will trip in here eventually, but the contracting outfit seems to be doing well. Matt seems to be doing well. He's still trying to get transitioned in. Septic permits and, like restaurant inspections and all that. He seems to be keeping up with. We've got Molly Carey over at is it Molly Carey still? Okay.
Yeah.
She's, gonna take over some of the admin for that specific, department, which will help Matt do more of what he needs to do versus just, answering the phone and paperwork, so. We're trying to get a new job description written up for Molly to be able to do that. And I think once that happens, we'll be in good shape and ready to roll for sanitarian, so. And I think that's the end of my report,
doing
Mr.
good.
Chairman. Sorry for missing that.
No,
one
no, no,
earlier.
thank you. Commissioner. In regards to travel management that Commissioner Kirsch talked about yesterday, again, we met with Madison County and there were some other folks there too. In fact, there were two representatives one for Senator Daines and one for, I forgot his last name, Tim, Sheedy. Yeah, Senator Sheedy. What the discussion was about is what Beaverhead Bear Lodge Working Group does in, Butte with our Parks, Trails, Recreation that's here in, commission that's here in our county. We're trying to get, I guess you would say the federal, in terms of the Forest Service, their interest and concerns and make, travel management a priority. And with all of the things that have happened, they sort of put it on the, burner, whereas we're trying to get it to happen now. So best thing I could say at this point in talking to the other commissioners down there is, they, went ahead and what we're asking is all of the commissioners sign on, and there's like 7 counties. And as of yesterday, I believe we have, Madison County support, so they'll sign on. And where it's going now is with the Senate, it's going up to the next tier. So it'll go, it would be the in-between as opposed to the representative of the senators to the senators. So they'll be online next week, actually wanting to know what the concern or interest is. So it sounds like maybe we're chipping away at it. And that's about it on that. And then last night with the Parks, Trails, Recreation, we had one of the law enforcement officers that was here that gave that was a guest. Her name was Christina Vittelens, and she's an LEO, a law enforcement officer, and she's stationed in this area. And thing I can tell you is they went ahead and just hired another one for this area. And they've started, but they won't be out on the street until about hunting season. So at least we got 2 now that we've been fighting for. So that's about all I have unless anybody has any questions in regards to that.
They're federal law enforcement.
Federal law enforcement, yes.
And so they can work for the BLM.
They work for the Forest
Forest.
Service. But that's the thing, Paul, without that travel management in place, their hands are tied. They can't do anything. They can't enforce federal law
I understand.
on the law enforcement side. That's what this big push is for.
Well, they can't enforce a law that's not there.
Yeah, and that's true, very true. So yeah, so that's why the big push on this. So
But you don't have any BLM law enforcement officers?
they're out of Helena, the one that is from here all the way to Whitehall, I think. Yeah, and he's only one that I'm aware of.
And down in the Pipestone area?
Yeah, that's where he works every now and then.
Including from Helena to there.
Yeah. So,
Government efficiency.
okay, that pretty much covers that. Now we can get to the family transfer track day of COS 176447 portion of Line Camp Minor Subdivision. Lindsay.
All right, Evan and Helen Lewis would like to give a 2.14 acres to their daughter. This is the Line Camp subdivision. There's been a few changes to it throughout the time that they want to just give that up a portion to their daughter.
Yeah, I already took a look at it, so. Have you, Commissioner, had time to look at it?
Yep. I looked it over the other day, yep.
All right,
everything looks great.
I would, if you have any questions, with Lindsay first? Or otherwise I'll entertain the motion.
You have to get, what does the planning commission say about it?
The planning. Oh, I don't know, it's not even go to the planning board.
Does it sense in for hardship or?
Exemption on statute. And the transfer.
Well,
Doesn't fall under the provisions of the act.
okay, and the survey doesn't change anything.
Well, the survey will change to show that
The new law, that's it. Okay. I'm just kind of curious about access.
It's in the, was it 2023 legislature, they changed the veteran subdivisions to be exempt for family transfer. And remember, this is right after, yeah, right? For both new lots and so right on.
150 months.
And is it, what's it zone, residential, commercial, what?
Not zoned. It's in a subdivision, I think.
Yeah.
So we'd have to follow the covenants, but there's no zoning.
It was an odd subdivision, it was a 2-lot subdivision that's been amended multiple times since. Remember the first, when it was subdivided, was it in the 70s? I have it in here. Yeah, so it started in the 70s, and then they did the boundary line with relocation in the 90s, and then that's in 91, another one in 96. And then now they're doing this.
Same thing, same law.
They added each time of relocation, and then they're just gonna do the top one too. It's kind of along the abandoned railroad, but near the main street, Jefferson.
Any other clarity or any other questions in regard to that? Okay. Right, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the family transfer for the line camp minor subdivision and the findings within the document here, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We just needed to approve the findings in there.
But there's finding conditions.
I didn't see any conditions. in
No,
there.
just the findings.
Just the findings, okay. Good, we did it right.
Okay, excuse me. Oh, okay. Which one we got? Okay. I'm gonna stir the water, because I'm gonna have to read it again. Okay, this is resolution 13-2025. It's the salaries of county officials. Whereas the county governing body shall, by resolution, on or before August 1st of each year, adjust and uniformly fix the salaries of the county clerk and recorder, county treasurer, county superintendent of schools, county sheriff, and clerk of district court, based upon the recommendations of the county compensation board provided for in 7-4-25034. Montana Code annotated, whereas the compensation board has recommended the following: that the clerk and recorder be compensated for election duties in the amount of $2,000. That the clerk and recorder be compensated an additional $5,203.88 for assessor duties. That the clerk and recorder be compensated an additional $2,000 for county surveyor duties. That the sheriff be compensated an additional $7,059.78 for coroner duties. That the treasurer and clerk of district court be compensated an additional $2,000. And that the elected officials receive a 3% increase on the base salary of fiscal year 2024-2025 for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Now therefore be it resolved that the base salaries for the elected officials of Jefferson County for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 be established as follows: county clerk and recorder, assessor, election administrator, $75,367.95 plus existing longevity. County treasurer, $75,367.95 plus existing longevity. Clerk of district court, $75,367.95 plus existing longevity. Superintendent of schools, part-time, $47,104,097 plus existing longevity. And then the county sheriff coroner, $75,367.95 plus existing longevity. County commissioners, $75,367 $1,046.95 plus existing longevity. County attorney, $144,209.06. Be it further resolved that the county commissioners and the sheriff shall receive an additional $2,000, and the superintendent of schools shall receive an additional $1,250 as provided by law. The State Department of Justice pays a portion of the county attorney's salary. Dated this 29th day of July, 2025. Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 13-2025, setting the salaries for elected officials.
Second
Mr.
that,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Second that, okay. Any other discussion, gentlemen? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
That one's a shorter one.
Yeah,
Shorter read.
yeah. You don't have to take a swig before. Well, it should be good. Okay, final one. Resolution 14-2025, salary of the justice of the peace. Whereas pursuant to 3-10-207 Montana Code annotated, the Board of County Commissioners is required to set the salary for the justice of the peace by resolution. And whereas 3-10-207 Montana Code annotated requires that the salary of the justice of the peace be set at a level not less than the salary received by the district clerk of court. And whereas 3-10-208 Montana Code annotated required the office hours be designated by the Board of Commissioners by resolution. And now therefore be it resolved that the Justice Court office shall be open to the public for transaction business from 9 a.m. to 12 noon and from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day of the year except holidays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Staff will report at 8 a.m. Be it further resolved that the salary for the Justice of the Peace for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 be set at $75,367.95 plus existing longevity. In addition, pursuant to Montana Code 7-4-2503 in parentheses 2 and then parentheses F, in addition to the base salary, the Justice of the Peace shall receive an additional $2,000 per year. Dated this 29th day of July, 2025. Okay, after reading that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 14-2025, setting salary of justice of the peace, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Just a second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Any other discussion? If not, then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, I think that's it. Yep. Anything else anybody wants to say? I know sometimes, Paul, you have a question or concern. I mean, that we can't take any action on, but is there anything you want to say?
Tongue in cheek. I didn't see the resolution for the percentage increase of the citizens' salary compensation board. The citizens that come and participate.
Oh.
You have to get a salary to get it.
You do.
Oh,
I'm just asking for 3% bubbles, which is not.
oh, yeah. Time to go home.
We gave you a 3% increase, 3% of zero, still zero.
That's what.
But you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
It's a point that counts. You showed up. So, anything else? If not, then we will be adjourned.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Keith.
Go on.
Thanks, Terry.
Ooh.